Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about the Halloween intro sequences. Now, everybody knows what the Halloween intro sequences are at this point. We've got the pumpkin, we've got the Halloween music, and it's synonymous for that, right? Everybody, when they think of the Halloween franchise, thinks about those intro sequences. Unfortunately, not every single movie in the franchise has those intro sequences, which I often forget myself when I go back to watch some of the movies and realize that, oh, this doesn't have the same intro sequence like I'm used to. But nevertheless, there are 13 movies, so obviously we have 13 different intro sequences for the franchise. And what I want to do is I want to go through and rank all of these 13 intro sequences in order from my least favorite to my favorite. And I guarantee that I'm going to surprise you with some of the ones at the top of the list. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so to start off the list, we're going to talk about the Rob Zombie movies because they don't have an intro sequence. They're both going to be ranked number 12 and 13 in whatever order you want to put them in. These movies just get started. They don't have any pumpkin. They don't have any classic Halloween music, nothing. They just get started, so they're immediately going to be at 12 and 13. Now that we got those two out of the way, the real bottom of the list is going to be number 11, which is Halloween 3. The only reason why Halloween 3 is at the bottom of the list is because it still is in a weird place in the Halloween franchise. Season of the Witch is just, like I said, not technically part of that story in my opinion, but the intro sequence is cool, right? I mean, they're making the pumpkin and it's very 80s. It's being made out of the text and whatnot. I love the graphics, and they use the same graphics in Halloween Ends. So it is cool. I do like the very 80s feel of it. It makes me feel like I just popped in the VHS and I'm, you know, watching a very 80s movie. So I do like it, but again, because of the nature of the film, I'm ranking it down at number 11, and yeah, that's where it's gonna be. All right, so number 10 on the list is gonna be Halloween 4, and again, this is just another weird one in the mix because it doesn't have the pumpkin or the classic Halloween music. It's got very ominous music. It's got a very ominous setting where they're going through different shots of a farm for the beginning, and they have the logo Halloween 4, Curse of Micah Myers, and they show the ambulance coming in and whatnot. I give them credit. It is kind of cool and kind of creepy. You know, it's not like a traditional opening to a movie in my opinion, but again, when I think of Halloween personally, I look for the pumpkin, I look for the music, and you know, neither one of those elements are in there, so it's easily number 10 on my list. All right, so number 9 on the list is going to be Halloween 5, and I don't like to give Halloween 5 too much praise because I don't like that movie, but I will say they got the intro sequence right because they had the whole stabbing of the pumpkin. It was getting destroyed. It was kind of unique and cool, and then at the tail end, they snuck in that Halloween music because I was gonna criticize it for the fact it didn't have Halloween music, but they did sneak it in because it picked up right where Halloween 4 left off. So nothing really crazy about this. It's kind of boring in the beginning because yeah, the stabbing of the pumpkin and how it gets destroyed and whatnot at the end looks cool, but it's, I don't know, the music is ominous just like Halloween 4, and yeah, I mean, it's number 9. It's decent, but it's not my favorite on the list by any means. All right, so at number 8 is going to be Halloween Resurrections, and I know, big surprise, I ranked Halloween Resurrections above 3, 4, and 5, and a lot of you are going to be like, wait, did this guy seriously just rank Resurrection ahead of those 3? And I did it for a good reason, not because of the amazing view we get with the opening sequence, because there's just a black screen with just a bunch of names going across it, so it's just nothing if you're just sitting there listening to it without the sound on. But that's the key, is that the Halloween score is actually really awesome for the Resurrection intro. I mean, it's not like groundbreaking, and it's not like just, oh my goodness, this is just insane like some of the other ones on this list, but at the same time, it's pretty good. I was like, if they would have just taken like 5 extra seconds to add some sort of animations or even just highlights from the previous movies at the bare minimum, it would have actually probably been a little higher on this list because I do like the intro score so much. But outside of that, you know how I feel about Halloween Resurrection. I don't like the movie. Most of the community does not like the movie. I mean, I would wager that 99% of the community doesn't like the movie. But nevertheless, the intro sequence is not that bad, so I'm going to give them some kudos here. All right, so next at number 7, we have Halloween 6. And now we have 2 different versions of this, of course, because the intro sequence for the theatrical version has nothing Halloween related. It doesn't have a pumpkin. It doesn't have any music. So we're just going to not talk about that because it's similar to the Rob Zombie movies where it just jumps into the movie. But for the producer's cut, we actually do get the pumpkin and the Halloween music. It's kind of like a lazily done version with like a candle burning in the pumpkin and whatnot. I give them credit. Like I said, for the qualifications for my list, I like to at least have those things. So out of all the rest of the movies that are going to be next that do have the pumpkin and the Halloween music, this is definitely at the bottom of that list. but I do give them credit for at least adding that into the producer's cut. Next on our list at number 6 is gonna be Halloween Ends. Now, I actually like the Halloween Ends intro sequence from an animation standpoint. It is so cool. Like, I mean, I like seeing the pumpkins change to different pumpkins, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, each one of the pumpkins represents a different movie in the franchise, which is pretty cool, and the pumpkins just burning a little bit and whatnot. And I do like the fact that they use the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch text for this particular intro sequence, so it's not bad. It's just kind of boring at its core. Like, the music itself is not, I don't know, it just doesn't get me going, you know, like the rest of the intro sequences on this list, but it's not bad. I really love the animation of the pumpkin. I thought that was one of the best particular ways that they did the pumpkin in all the intro sequences. But at the same time, like I said, it's just a little boring in my opinion. Next on the list at number 5 is going to be Halloween H2O, and I know I'm going to be contradicting myself because I literally clearly laid out pumpkin, Halloween music. That's how you get put higher on the list for me. But I don't care. This intro just slaps. It's one of the best intros in the franchise in my opinion, because not only is the Halloween music absolutely great, I love the news clippings and whatnot, and seeing and hearing Dr. Loomis talk over it, and we're going back in time and looking at different pictures and different newspaper articles about all of the movies and whatnot. It's just really cool. I mean, they do a great job with it. Again, you know, for me, like, I like this intro sequence, but it's just not my favorite. I don't know what it is. Like, I can't really put my finger on it. I really do love when, like, the music kind of builds up and then the Halloween logo comes out with H2O behind it and whatnot. So it's really cool, and the movies from here on out between 5 and 1 are really kind of hard to choose, but at the same time, out of all of these, I would have to say H2O is definitely number 5 for me on this list. Number 4 on the list is going to be the classic 1978 intro. Now, I know I'm going to get torn up in the comments for this because I know people are going to be like, it's the classic, you know, 1978 is the best. To me, it's really good. I love, like, every time I hear the 1978 intro, I just get excited because I know, like, this is gonna be the classic Halloween, the original vision, right? But at the same time, like I said, compared to the next 3, it's just not got that flair, and it to me, like, they've come out with so many incredible intro sequences since 1978 that it's just not the best anymore, in my opinion. That's the only thing. It was the best for a long time, but it's not the best anymore. And like I said, it's good, and it gets me excited to watch the 1978 movie, and it's always going to be a classic, but it's going to be number 4 on my list. God, these next 3 were so hard to rank because to me they're interchangeable, because they all 3 capture the vibe, the feel that I want from a Halloween intro sequence. And I have to rank them 1 through 3. So we're gonna start off at number 3 with Halloween Kills. I love this intro sequence. I love the burning pumpkin. I love how it starts off with the piano, and then we had the choir come in. It just feels like an epic entrance to this movie. You can say what you want about Halloween Kills and how you feel about it, but you gotta admit, that was like one of the coolest intro sequences we've had to date. And like I said, I love everything about it. It captures all the elements that I want from a Halloween intro sequence, but unfortunately, I had to put it at number 3 for now. All right, so next at number 2 is gonna be Halloween 2, 1981. I don't know what it is about this intro sequence, but I love the whole vibe around it. It's got the cool, like, 80s techno music, or the techno version of the Halloween theme. It has the pumpkin zooming in, and then it slowly opens up into the skull. I just love it. Every time I watch Halloween 2, I'm reminded of how good this intro sequence was for this movie, and I just get, like, shivers down my spine. It's such a good intro sequence. I, like, kind of, like, start to dance a little bit. I know that sounds ridiculous because I shouldn't be dancing to a Halloween intro sequence, but I don't know. I love the vibe of it, and it's easily number 2 on my list for sure. All right, so that leaves us at number 1 with Halloween 2018. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, the most perfect Halloween intro in my opinion, for a wide variety of reasons. The biggest reason is obviously the intro sequence itself, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. But we lead into it, and I don't talk about this with the other intro sequences, but the way they led into it was absolutely perfect. We're in the sanitarium. Michael, the reporters are trying to interview Michael, get him to talk. He's just not really paying attention to him. The guy's holding up the mask, and he's just like, say something. And then the bass just drops, boom. And then we're into the Halloween intro sequence. The pumpkin's deflated because it's been 40 years, and then it's reflating, and then the music's just going crazy. Oh my goodness, when I was in the theaters watching this, I was hyped out of my mind for this. This got me so excited for this movie because it's been so long since we've had a really good feeling Halloween sequence, because prior to this, we had the Rob Zombie movies, right? That didn't have that classic intro sequence. So we're talking since Halloween Resurrections, for crying out loud, since we've had even a semblance of that. But it's just like this movie just captured everything that I wanted from a Halloween intro sequence. And yeah, it's easily #1, and I seriously doubt they're going to be able to top this intro sequence in future movies. All right, so that's my list for the Halloween intro sequences. What did you guys think? What do you think about my list? Do you agree with it? Because I love being right, but no, seriously, I want to hear what you guys think about the Halloween intro sequences, and I want to hear your favorite Halloween intro sequence. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching this video, and as always, we'll see you next time.